Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Y'all, this was not on our bingo card for 2025. Our pump on our well went out last night. So we are going on almost 24 hours of no water here at the house and the nursery. I tell you, it is always something. So today we thought, hey, makes a good video. Come along with us as they replace the pump on the well. So of course we live in the country, right? So we don't have city water that's not even close to us, which we are perfectly fine with. We love being on a well. We have a fantastic tasting water. We enjoy it. But yesterday, probably around, 5:30 or so, all of a sudden we have zero water. Jerry checks the breaker, we check everything, and it is just simply that there is no power coming out of the well. So fast forward, we call the company that does, they're great, is Morris Jenkins, for those of you that are in the region. And bless his heart, he came out, his call time to come out was between 10 p.m. and midnight last night. So he got here around 10:30, and which we had kind of already figured that it was the pump in the well had died. So fast forward to today, they come out, check it, yep, everything's, it is the pump, so we have to replace that. So that is what's going to be happening today. It's just an early afternoon. The team is on their way to replace it, so you're going to come along with us for this day and see how you replace a pump on a well. Of course, obviously, the dilemma is that because we are on a well, and if you don't have a pump on your well, then you can't get the water out of the ground. So just to give you a little bit of a reference here, I'm standing in the front yard. Our well is just, if you can start to see kind of where that gray rock is, and then just to the left of that gray rock is the pump. So as you can see, it is this, 8, 10, I don't know what size slick PVC pipe that is. But that is the pump, the well rather, that goes 200 feet in the ground. So our well is 200 feet down, and at the bottom of that 200 feet, there is a pump. And that is the job of the pump, is to pump the water from the base of the well up to the surface of the earth, and then of course takes it on in to the house and all the other various places that the water goes. So when they come, they're going to have to kind of disassemble that part of the well, and they're going to have to literally pull out that pump and then replace it. I will give you all of the specs later once I have those in front of me, but I do know that we are going with a larger size pump because over the years, so we've been in our house for it'll be 21 years in January that we've been in our house. So the pump is actually already 21 years old because we've had to, the well is 21 years old because we've had to, of course you have to have the well here before you can build the house. So it was 5 years ago that we actually had to replace the pump then because it was in June of 2020, the pump went out and we had to replace it. It's only 5 years old, which is not very good. And we have, between us, I always thought here, especially here lately, because we keep adding irrigation. So irrigation from the house and irrigation at the nursery, just wears and tears on the pump. We also had lightning yesterday, so that was very interesting because we were sitting at lunch yesterday and we have been in a period of rain. This is the first blue sky we have seen. It's been rare. And so we were sitting at lunch and this bolt of lightning along with a clap of thunder came along, and we were like, well, all right, there you go. In fact, it was funny because our nephew, the kid's cousin, texted Megan and he was like, good grief, that scared me to death. And he was not here on property. He was somewhere else and heard the same thunder. So we're thinking that possibly the lightning struck, and we don't know. It's just very, very coincidental. So anyway, what we're doing is then upgrading it to a bigger pump. So it will have more pumping power in very layman's terms. And then they're going to do some other things to take care of it so that we have the pressure when somebody's using it at the nursery and we're using water here at the house, that the pressure maintains the same. There'll be safety features on that pump, like a cooling system, so that the pump doesn't overheat when it is working. So it is a whole thing. And so they are, like I said, on their way to replace this pump. So I'm not really sure exactly how this is going to look or what it's going to turn out to be. So we just thought, well, you know what? We'll just bring you along for a day in the life here at Creekside, replacing the pump in the well because we have no water and it went kaput. So let's see what happens next. Alrighty, my friends, so there you go. I came down here to film what they were doing and got down here at the right time because they were able to pull the pump out. So we have two fellas here from Morris Jenkins, and they are, oh, and there's some more thunder. There you go. So they had this great little contraption that pulls all of the PVC pipes out. So you can see all the PVC there. And attached to that PVC pipe was, of course, the electrical wire, which is the black, red, and green. So that was all attached. So as they were using their machine to pull out the PVC, it was also pulling out the pump. And so you can see the pump is the silver cylindrical right there. So that is what was responsible for giving us some great water. So that was step one, is to pull the pump, and then the larger pump had to be ordered, and as far as I know, it is on its way here. So they're going to then go ahead and reinstall it. So what they were doing is, as they were using the little machine that pulled the PVC, they were just cutting it because they'll replace that PVC with some new PVC attached to the pump and then submerge it again. And so right now what they're doing is just cleaning up their all the pipes and everything. But this little contraption that they had right here was super cool because this other tire, so you had 3 tires that would go, and the PVC pipe would go right between them, and it made it super easy to pull out. So physically it was quite easy to do, but then there you go. Way down in there I can see some water reflected, but yeah, so that's our well, and now just getting all this cleaned up and getting in a new pump. So progress, we're getting there. The fellas are now putting the new pump all together, and they were telling Jerry all about it. So I am going to kind of turn it over to him and let him explain. I'm wearing the mic, so he's going to stand close to me so we can have this conversation about
I don't know, I remember everything.
Well, no, I understand that. Okay, so what did he say? What's the horsepower?
It's a 1.5 instead of the 2, but the system is going to be a new system underneath the house that's going to regulate the pressure. So that way, because this well powers both the house and the garden center. So when it senses pressure being used over there, it's going to adjust it over here to give us the pressure when you get ready to take a shower.
Awesome. And then something about the bladder underneath the house.
That's coming out. Yep.
But they're going to put a new one in?
A new type, yes. It's going to be, that's the system, the new system.
Okay,
yep. That's
the new system. And then the difference, because we did have PVC pipe going down connected to the pump, and now we're going to
black poly pipe going in, which is typical for water lines, you know. So we have that. I think we actually have that going into the house from the well now, down in the ground. But now this is going to go all the way down. Mm-hmm. It'd be, you know, maybe easier to take it out. I don't know.
Well, it definitely is more. It's definitely more flexible.
It is.
Yep. All right. So that is the update, and we should have water tonight.
Yes. We'll thankfully have a tractor with a tank, and so we're feeding water in the greenhouse. We've been getting a lot of rain today and yesterday because we're soaked. So all the plants outside are in good shape. We were just needing to bring water to the greenhouse because we have no water.
Because the good thing is that, of course, production is a little bit a ways from us, and so it's on its own separate well. So everything up at Production Annex, those growing greenhouses, although there's not a ton in the greenhouse right now, all of those are fine. And so Roberto just came down with the tractor, like Jerry said, 100-gallon tank, and watered inside the greenhouse, because heaven knows outside the greenhouse there's plenty of water.
Plenty of water.
All right, so I guess next up we'll let them keep on working, and then we'll meet you back here in a little bit when there's an update.
Yep.
When it kicks on and off the pump, it has like little vibrations.
Right.
So it just keeps it from bouncing off the casing.
Gotcha. My friends, clearly it is the next day. The project went late into the night. I'll get into the details of that in just a minute. But I went ahead and called it quits as far as filming. Thought, well, one, it got dark. I couldn't film anymore. And so I thought I'd just come back this morning and give you an update. We have water. So praise the Lord, the water is on and working, and it is fantastic. So when the fellas left last night at 10 o'clock, they left the old pump here. So I have it right here. I just thought it would be neat to kind of show you. I told Jerry, I said, I don't know what I was expecting the pump in the well to look like, but it really wasn't like this. I don't know, in my brain, I just thought it was gonna be bigger. But here you go. So you can see, like I said, this is clearly the old one. You have the PVC that goes up from, of course, the pump, the bottom of the well, all the way to the top of the well. You have the wires that run the pump, and then of course that pump that's nice and long and cylindrical. So that is what a well pump looks like. If you have never seen one, now you have. Like I said yesterday, the fellas were using, they did not use the PVC. They used that really super heavy duty black flexible pipe. We use that same type of pipe, tubing, whatever you want to call it, with irrigation at the greenhouses, but this one was a thicker grade, so it was much thicker than what we use. The great thing about that, of course, is that there's no seams. With the PVC, every so many feet, whether it's 10 feet, 8 feet, whatever, how long the pipe is, then you have to have a seam, which could, it has potential for, breaking. Not that ours did, but it's just an interesting fact that they used. And so here we are at the well. They have covered it up. Let me uncover it and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so there you go. They have got it, oh my goodness, so neat and tidy right here. It is fantastic. So there's a whole panel right here, electrical panel. All of that is connected together. Of course, we have got the access to have water right here, which I love because I need that to water plants. So here you go. Water, 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 water. So we have got water at the well. And then of course, we'll keep that covered. I don't know where other places, like other parts of the country, here they do like a decorative rock. It's a fiberglass rock. And so you put it on top of there, and the only time we have to worry about like our pump freezing is when we have extended periods of cold weather in the wintertime, January, February typically. So what we will do is, of course, you have the cover on it, and then for us, if there's any little gaps at the bottom, then of course we go in and make sure that that is covered. And other than that, it doesn't freeze. So what they had to do is come to underneath the house. So coming through here and then coming to the back of the house and going underneath the house in the crawl space, and they had to do some work in here as well. All right, my friends, y'all get to come in underneath my crawl space of my house. So back here in the corner, and if you're curious as to why everything is white plastic, remember we talked about our space being encapsulated. This is what we mean, and so we don't have to worry about, oops, sorry about that. We don't have to worry about moisture and water getting in here. So this basically, this gray box back here is it's essentially a computer that they have put in underneath here to control the pressure in the house and in the pump. Then they took out the traditional bladder. The bladder is what you call, it's like the tank that holds the water. Nice little tiny one right here. And then if you can see, I know the lighting is terrible. There's literally one light bulb out down here. But there is a pressure gauge right here, and the job of the computer, because you can see how it connects to right here, is to keep the PSI at 60. So constantly at 60, whether we're using it at the nursery or we are using it here at the house. All right, let me hop out so I can stand up and explain this a little bit better. All right, now that we have explored underneath our house and our crawl space, what's really cool about this whole system is because we do use the one well here at the house that runs, of course, the house itself, then all of the irrigation at the house, and then the garden center here with all of the irrigation there. So we have to have a smarter well pump system so that can regulate everything. So what we have done is this system will constantly keep the pressure both here and at the nursery at 60 psi. If it finds that the pump is overworking, so if the pump gets too hot, it will shut it off. So it just it stops it until it cools down. There is a cooling system built in to the pump itself, because obviously you've got all that beautiful water down there in the ground that is nice and cool. So it will use that water to actually cool the pump so that it doesn't overheat. So it's a whole system, again, that is probably way above my head, but it is very interesting to know how the technology has changed over the years for these pumps. Of course, the obvious other solution is for us to drill a well at the nursery, which at some point I would assume we probably would have to do that. But with this technology, it saves us some time because, you know, drilling a well is not cheap. This system was not cheap, but when you don't have any water, you don't have any water. And to have this upgrade in technology certainly is great. Now, something that's interesting, when we were talking with the fellas that were working yesterday, the well is actually 177 feet down. So that was really cool. We were saying like 200. I mean, it's close, but 177 feet was the actual measurement down. And when we had our well drilled prior to construction 20 years ago, so this is at least 21 years old now, the fellas that were drilling the well, they knew that when they went down, they went through limestone. And so limestone, they told us, they're like, you are going to have the most delicious, pure tasting water because of that limestone. It acts as a natural filter when that water goes through it. And it is true. Like, we have the best. Like, we could probably start like Creekside Spring Water or something, like a water bottling company, because it is the best water ever. So we have never been concerned about us like running out of water, because it goes so far down. And so that aquifer is way down there. The drill, the well is a 6-inch drilled well. So for those of you that are technical and want to know that stuff, it is a 6-inch drilled well, goes down 177 feet through limestone into this aquifer that, and if you don't know what an aquifer is, it's basically aquifer, whatever you want to say it, tomato, my pronunciation police, just calm down. It is basically like an underground lake. This is very layman's terms, but go down 177 feet and there's this massive lake under there, a pocket of water that's very pure, and that is where we get our water from. that is all the way through. But once they pulled out that well and the pump, and we were able to see down, remember I showed you, and you could see the water. So that was only about 10 feet down. So the water table was that high. So yeah, we're not running out of water anytime soon. It was great to take baths and showers last night and to be able to flush our potties without having to refill the tank with a 5-gallon bucket and wash the dishes and, you know, all the things, all the first world problem things, you know. But I don't think you realize maybe how much you use water until you don't have water for 24, 30 hours or whatever it was. Even just as something as simple as like going to go rinse your hands after you're in the kitchen, there's no water there. And so yeah, we're very appreciative of water for sure. But anyway, that was our fun time here. Again, like I said, not on the bingo card for 2025, but it is what it is. And we've got a fantastic new pump system that is going to last us for years and years. Comes with a warranty. There you go. So thank you for our friends at Morris Jenkins for taking care of us. And no offense, but I hope you don't see you for a long time. All right, my friends, as always, we hope you found this fun, informative, inspirational. If you have, go ahead and like and subscribe to Gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.